Welcome back to One Punch Man Anime Review, episode number 4. This I'm reviewing the 14th episode of the series, Human Monster. I was trying to look up and see exactly what was the after for the episode. The site didn't put up the chapters yet, so I had to do the old-fashioned way. Look it up and see basically what adapted. It looks like adapted like pages 17 to 22 of chapter 40. Basically, it looks like they adapt the whole chapter of chapter 40, basically about half the chapter last week's episode. This week, they adapt pretty much the rest, and they did adapt chapter 37. The site didn't pretty much bother to mention it at all for some strange reason. I don't know why. And in the case of 41, they adapted pretty much what was adapted from last week's episode, involving the character Geno. He just, kills all the characters in the room, all these villains, and he kills off the 3 heroes in the room. Kills them all pretty brutally. Like, the big strong guy breaks his arm. The one with the nice-looking suit, he basically rips his hand off and kills him right in the room. And later on in the episode, he's seen killing off an A-class hero. But it also does this episode, from what I can tell, but looking it up, it adapts the entirety of chapters 42 to 45. Yep. Now, what happens in these episodes? What happens in this episode, aside from the whole thing with Genos, basically, I think that's how you pronounce the guy's name, right? Genero. Yeah, aside from Genero doing his killing spree, this whole episode is set at Saitama's, in his area of his apartment. Starts off with Genos basically go over the fact he got new parts, and in fact he's, Saitama moving up, obviously. And Saitama, of course, is playing a PSP. How? I own one. But I can tell by the device, it's a PSP. This is a while, and he says, oh crap, I must have accidentally erased King's save data. Okay. And of course, you have Genos detecting something. It's the Supersonic Ninja, making his, at least he's wearing his proper clothing this time, not some random street clothes. Yep. And he and Genos basically start a fight that disappears for a good chunk of the episode. And then, basically, Saitama hears doorbell ring. He opens the door, and it's Hupako, aka Hellish Buzzard, and her 2 minions, who at the start of the first time we see in the episode just happened to arrive at, Saitama's place. And she wants him to join her organization. He declines, and of course, he introduces himself using his serious face, and basically, after turning it down, she says she takes her henchman him, and he just basically flaps them away like they were nothing. Then she takes off her fancy fur coat, and starts a fight with him. At one point in the fight, this is actually directly from the manga, the way Saitama is, he's basically almost getting, she's in midair, she's, leaning back, and it almost looks like he's about to get on top of her. That's what it looks like. Yeah, I'm not kidding about that. If you look up at the manga, it's the same exact image. They made 0 changes to the images from what I can tell from the actual episode. They basically brought forward, it's like, really? ESP? You're gonna hit me with rocks and pebbles. He's like, boring. Doesn't make it the fact that, of course, he doesn't know that the terrible Twister is her sister, not revealed till the end of the episode. And then fight for a good period of time, and then all of a sudden she picks out a knife, and then all of a sudden here comes the Supersonic Ninja, and Genos just behind her like, what? And of course, there's an explosion, and Saitama protects her from explosion. Though she does get a little bruise on her head, cause her bleed, but he does protect her. How nice of him, because he is an actual hero. Of course, he points out, though, that what she's doing is wrong as a hero. Basically, be a crusher, and to him, she's not a true hero. And of course, then while Genos is fighting, it's like, can you please, sorry for a little dust in front of your apartment master? And of course, she's shocked to see Genos is like, S-class hero is an apprentice to a B-class hero. It's more a little dust, and of course, the whole place is in ruin, which I'm sure for Saitama is like, no, this is nothing unusual. This happens every day. I'm sure that's the way it is for him. And of course, these exploding shuriken at him, and eventually he does this after image technique, and somewhat defeats Saitama, Genos, and then Saitama does pretty much very similar technique and beats him with looks like 1,000 punches. though it doesn't kill him. Though normally 1,000 punches would definitely kill him. It's like, and of course his outfit's ripped up, and of course Hellish Buzzer is just basically shocked at all this. Heck, even seeing this is like such a jaw-dropping moment. And they get back to his apartment, and she's basically just lying. She's just basically sitting down on the floor, and she explains pretty much exactly what's going on. Though her henchman doesn't show up again the rest of the episode, explains like a little bit of a backstory. In fact, she's basically, and of course, Genos knows exactly who she is. She's basically the younger sister of Terrible Twister, Terrible Tornado. This is something that's really bothered me. Heck, even probably, I think even Saitama basically questions, how can this little girl be this woman's older sister? Yeah, even to me that makes no sense at all. And of course, she's always been jealous of her older sister of being number one, despite the fact she's probably got some power set. Yep, and then toward the episode, King shows up and she's shocked to see King, the world's strongest man. Even though it's not true, it's all complete bullcrap. That's something people may know about him because he's so a brave guy. He just happened to be randomly at Saitama's, basically at one of his battles with monsters. And of course, Saitama pointed out in the early episode, the only reason he keeps going rank is he's beat up monsters. Yep. And let's see what else. And of course, he gets back the game. He says, "Oh, button scratch." Like he mentions to him, mumbling, "I may have accidentally erased your save data." Yep. And of course, Hellish Buzzer's curious exactly about Saitama, and she's like this up until the most recent chapter. Yeah, she's still like that. She basically wants to know a lot about him, though she does give up, as far as I can tell. She does give up her thing of trying to get him to be her lackey. But he says she wants to join him. Though fanfic writers love hooking up these two because of their awkward chemistry. I mean, it's heavily implied she might be attracted to him. She's probably like the only woman in the entire series who's got a thing for him, at least implied. Nothing about the other characters though. At least you don't have that gay superhero prisoner. At least he's not in this episode. Thank God for that. Yep. And I think the reason why in the most recent chapter they finally had Saitama make a return, well, the animates just came back, so why not feature main character again, even though it's been 13 chapters since his last appear. Yep. Now, as in the case of whenever a new chapter comes out, I will probably review it whenever a new episode comes out for the anime, just like I currently do for One Piece and let's see, what's the other one I do for? Oh yeah, Black Clover. Currently I do it right now. I will do it for My Hero Academia when the series resumes in 6 months. Yep. So yeah, that's it for this particular review. It's just a really damn good episode. I highly praise JC's staff for keeping a lot of stuff into this episode. There's nothing been cut as far as I can tell. I mean, I just looked it up basically for the manga, and from the chapters they did adapt, aside from the fact they did basically put in this episode stuff they cut from last week's episode. But yeah, for the entirety of chapters 42 to 45, they kept everything in. Nothing has been altered. And apparently it looks like they're going to do the whole thing of adapting like possibly 4 full chapters. Possibly, who knows? But at least they threw in stuff that was cut out from last week's episode. Yep, there's that. So yeah, that's it for this particular review. As far as I can tell, I checked and see about, well, if there was a new episode, the new episode released for Fairy Tail was been put up yet. When I last looked, nope, it's not there. So probably tomorrow, I'll probably get a chance to put up the review for it. Yep. And along with that will be also a review of the newest episode of Ace Attorney. Yep, both of them Funimation dubs. Yep. Expect to see those hopefully tomorrow. Okay? But see you next review. Bye.